Hey Archer, how's it going?
I'm doing all right.
Is that a new notebook?
I I actually ran out of room on my arms for notes.
Wait, what?
I had written so many notes to myself on my arms that I actually ran out of space. So
I
I
didn't know
finally
you
went,
did that.
yeah. No, I write on my arms all the time because I only have a couple of tattoos there. Um, it was like a really long class day. I had written 1,000 things to myself on like all over my left forearm, and I ran out of space. And what I do in the summertime when I'm wearing like shorts or ripped jeans is I switch to writing on my legs. But it's cold, so I'm wearing like jeans without holes and leggings underneath. So I finally went and got myself an actual notebook.
Any personal projects you got brewing, or is it all just stuff for school at the moment?
I have personal projects brewing in the back of my mind at all times. Just because school is taking up the majority of my focus right now doesn't mean that I'm not like figuring out a pattern that I'm working on,
Hmm.
stuff like that. Yeah, no,
But
you've
neat.
seen my calendar. It's a Tetris game.
I've never heard it described as a Tetris game, but I'm keeping that.
My gift to you.
What about your cosplay stuff? Do you have anything brewing there at the moment? I think the last thing I
Yeah.
saw you do was Cody at
Yeah,
the Dimension 20 Live thing, the Gauntlet.
I did. I went to Gauntlet at the Garden with you. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
um that was more of like a closet cosplay thing because I
yeah.
didn't have the time or means to like make it a full-on cosplay. The next big thing that I'm working on is Jinx. Because one of our
Right.
mutual friends is cosplaying Vi, asked me to cosplay Jinx so that we can hang out and take pictures together.
You two are gonna look nonsense dead on with that combo.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fantastic. So I took advantage of one of my school's resources. They have a machine where they let you use your like school printing points to print on fabric
Oh,
into. I love it so much. So I went into Canva and I like took a bunch of reference images of all the different kinds of stripes that Jinx has, like on her pants, on her arm warmers and stuff. Again, I really like referencing Tetris. So I fit them all into the rectangle, like the biggest rectangle of
Hmm,
fabric that they'll let you print on.
gotcha.
And then I had my school print those out for me. They're sitting in the corner waiting for me to pin down the pattern and actually start constructing the costume.
That's an amazingly economical. I mean, both with using the resources of school, but also fitting multiple patterns onto one fabric sheet, yard. I don't know what to call it.
Sheet works. Yeah, no, it was a very fun challenge to, before I had even printed out the paper pattern, measure exactly how much like down to a centimeter, exactly how much fabric I would need for each pattern piece and figure out how much I could print on each one.
That's brilliant. I mean, I kind of handle my uh, illustration prints for cons the same way, where I just print everything on big blocks of 11 by 17 paper and then chop it down to what it is. So it'll often be like 1 8 by 10 and then a bunch of 5 by 7s jammed in, and then I just slice them up because it's
Yeah,
cheaper and it's more effective.
and using the paper guillotine is fun.
Yeah, it is. Although I have definitely scared my roommates and just like they hear the slicing noise and like, what is going on?
He's taking down the bourgeoisie.
That's next week. Where am I gonna be looking for the photos?
Well, your friend will hopefully be taking them, so you can find the raw images on Vinny's camera, but
Oh,
actual
nice.
photos will be posted on my cosplay Instagram, which I'm hoping to get back up and running.
Is that the
I,
cause and effect one?
yeah, on Instagram it's at cos underscore and dot effect because the one with periods in between cause and was taken. So yeah, the idea is to get my cosplay Instagram back up and running. It's been maybe a year since I posted anything because the whole social media side of being a cosplayer got a bit much. And
Yeah.
since I don't really have the means to cosplay regularly outside of cons or the like space setup to take good photos on my own, especially in the winter time when I don't want to like set up a tripod in the park or anything. Uh, I fell out of the whole habit of posting photos, but I'm gonna go back. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun, and I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself about it. Is the important thing.
No, the second you start stressing yourself out with something that is supposed to be for fun, complete a sentence.
Yeah, life as a creative, never, never did run smooth.
Are you still in the middle of classes and everything?
So I'm taking a bunch of more like classics and folklore based classes, and that's going to
Ooh.
help me prep for the actual costume work that I'm doing in the future.
Are you tying the folklore aspects into the way you handle costuming? Is that the goal?
Yeah, one of the things that I love most about costuming is that it's the first thing an audience usually gets about a piece of theater. So if a costume looks a certain way, especially when a story has a lot to do with like the history of what's being told, the costumes can give you a really good insight into that history before anybody's even spoken.
Oh yeah, no, like the '90s Romeo and Juliet movie with DiCaprio, where they sort of took the dialogue as is, but then updated the visuals with modern clothing and I think swapped out the swords for a gun that was brand named sword.
Yeah,
That's kind of neat. Nice way to like prime the audience without having to do an expositional dump at the beginning.
yeah. So, how are you?
I'm a little nervous. I'm kind of starting a new project and I'm talking with a person soon to kind of unpack some creative path stuff that they've gone through. Because I don't think any of the people I'm scheduled to talk to have gone in a straight line to end up where they are, and I'm really fascinated to see what that really looks like under a microscope.
That's one of the things that always makes me feel better when I talk to other artists is none of our plans have ever actually gone the way we thought they would, and most people end up somewhere they're happy with no matter what.
Yeah, there's all this bullshit hustle culture stuff that gets shoved down everyone's throat. Every creative I know has a story of like when they were younger, somebody telling them they were doing it wrong or this wasn't viable, or if you're going to do it, it has to be done this way. And then never turns out to be true in any context. So I'm hoping by unpacking this with a bunch of people in different creative places in their lives at different levels of what they consider success, that it'll kind of put a healthier spin on like how much this chaos and discord of figuring this out for yourself is normal and healthy and actually really conducive to the creative process in general.
That sounds really cool. The idea that success looks different to everybody depending on the process that they took to get somewhere they're happy with is something that's really important for especially young creative people to learn. And I don't think there's that much focus on it, especially with the need for everything to make money, everything to be productive, everything to be
Yeah.
pushing towards some larger goal rather than finding something that you like to do.
And that's one of the other things I'm hoping to pin down somewhat, because I know some of the people I'm talking to, they have turned what they thought was just going to be a creative hobby into a business. Some people who have then found themselves running a business and want to detangle from that because that's not the part they enjoy anymore and trying to get back to the creative stuff. Hopefully, I can kind of put this into a series of chit chats that help people navigate weird situations from at least an informed perspective, or at least feel more normal that it's not supposed to work cleanly and you kind of do have to just make everything up as you go.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a really good perspective to have. Tell me all
Yeah.
about the conversations when they happen.
I mean, I'm going to be doing them all here. So if you want, I can kind of chat with you before them if you're around and tell you who I'm talking to and kind of warm myself up. And then if you're still around after, unpack the little nuggets of wisdom that I think I've been able to pull out of the conversations.
That sounds good. I'm hanging out here to do some work, and then I'm going to my real big adult job. And then I've got a bunch of readings to do for classes tonight. I can sit in the corner of the cafe and watch you, like hiding my face behind a menu where, the glasses with the big nose and mustache attached.
You're going to cut out the newspaper? Yeah.
I got a spy on you like you're my roommate going on a first date.
I will talk to you soon.